Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. Saturday, we're going to talk about some books today. Didn't talk about books last Saturday because I was in Philadelphia, but we're back in the office. We're going to talk about reading and books. Going to talk about The Gift of Violence by Matt Thornton and Nobody is Coming to Save You by Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann. Those are the two books today. Recently finished both of them, both good books. Before we get started with those, I'm going to announce that there's a book sale in Missoula. So if you're in the Missoula area, the Fort is having their annual book sale. I'll probably go tomorrow. On Sunday, you can always get a big giant bag of books for $10. However many books you can fit in the bag, you get for $10. I always bring back more books than my wife wants me to bring back. You got to get your money's worth, right? Fill that bag up. We'll see. There's only a few books that I'm really wanting to see if they have there. And then if they do have those, I'll probably end up getting a bag. We'll see. Also want to just encourage you to read more. The reason I share books on so many Saturdays is to give you some ideas of something you might want to read, but more importantly, to encourage you to read more. Read for education, read for entertainment, listen to audiobooks. Just get out there. There's a wealth of entertainment, wealth of education to be gained, and it's right there at our fingertips. You can go to libraries that are free, and they have audiobooks and stuff there too. So no excuse not to get some more reading into your life and enjoy it, learn from it. And the first one today will be Nobody is Coming to Save You, A Green Beret's Guide to Getting Big Shit Done by Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann, retired. Now, this actually is different than I sort of thought it was going to be. I thought it might be a little bit more daily productivity, getting things done. And this was more the big picture and getting bigger things done, sort of like if you wanted to create something that was going to have an impact on your community or beyond your community. So it was a very interesting read. And he used special forces tactics and strategies because, the special forces, they don't just go in and kill people, like they go in and they work with people that from wherever they go into, and they teach and help those people fight for themselves and different things. So there's a huge teaching component and stuff with our special forces soldiers, different mission than such as the Navy SEALs might have, or Rangers and 82nd Airborne and some of those organizations. So I did like this, and he talks about meaning and emotion and storytelling to get things apart and get things communicated to others to help you achieve things. So definitely a different book than what I originally thought it was going to be, but a very good book. It has an endorsement by Gary Sinise on the back, has an endorsement by Stephen Pressfield on the back. So it's different than what I thought, but very good. And if you take some of these strategies and things he's talking about, they do make a lot of sense when you're trying to get things done and get others to join with you to help you achieve and get things done. So I did enjoy this book and thought it had some good stuff in it. The second one I wanted to talk about today, Matt Thornton's The Gift of Violence, Practical Knowledge for Surviving and Thriving in a Dangerous World. And I thought this was a very good book. Thornton has more of a background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he talks about how what he calls live arts, and I agree with him, such as judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, martial arts or martial sports, where you're actually in the ring, going full bore against people that are actually resisting, hitting you back, throwing you back, and so forth, as being a foundation of good self-defense training, because you can take those skills and apply them to the street. And he's very pro on those and sort of negative on some of the traditional arts that don't incorporate that kind of training. And while I believe the traditional arts have some things that are beneficial. I would agree with him that live going against somebody is very applicable and will help you where you can actually defend yourself. I wasn't a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, but I was a judo guy. Judo was my first martial art back in high school. Trained and competed in judo. Won, lost, got choked out. I've told that story of getting choked out in a judo match, made me want to learn chokes and become better at them because I felt how helpless I was when I went unconscious. So I really do think having something of that style, and I used to do some boxing too. So when you're actually boxing and getting punched in the face, hitting somebody or trying to hit somebody that's not wanting you to hit them, when you're doing judo and you're trying to throw someone who doesn't want to be thrown and they're trying to throw you, wrestling would be another one. I mean, when any of these kind of things where you're really going at it hard against a resisting opponent is applicable when you get into real situations. I use that judo stuff and the boxing stuff in real fights. Now I've used Hapkido in security work and the joint locks and stuff too. So all of it can be, but you do have to have that element of that live training and that resistance. And he has a big focus on that. He also has a big focus on just knowing what real violence is, and pointing out things like more rapes and different things happen by people that you know than the boogeyman, the stranger. I mean, your children, if you're a parent, the bigger threats against children these days are relatives, friends, and then trusted people such as camps, churches, organizations taking care of kids. Those all known predators are more abundant than the stranger going to do something terrible to your kids. And so, he points out a lot of truth about violence and things that go on. And so I really like the book. I really think he points out some good things to know about violence and self-defense and keeping yourself safe from it. So 2 good books this week: The Gift of Violence by Matt Thornton for a self-defense book, and Nobody is Coming to Save You for some strategies and some information on when you're wanting to get bigger projects done and get others to help you with those bigger projects. I'm going to say hello to a couple people. Dixon's here, and Dixon said All Souls Day for those that observe. Thank you, Dixon. I didn't know that. Hope everybody had a happy Halloween last night and a safe Halloween, but I didn't know, though. I think Brian, who I do Hapkido with, was doing something downtown because they're having something to do with that, but I'm not. Good morning, Thad. Appreciate you being here and say good morning. Dixon said, plain you pin hoodie, or is it a pin dad hoodie? Actually, Dixon, this is my pin Mickey hoodie from a couple pin visits ago, but it's the one with Mickey on it. I actually had somebody say, I didn't know Mickey Mouse was the mascot of Penn. It's like, he's not. Penn, the Quakers. If you've watched my social media, you've seen me with a picture with the big Quaker from the football game we attended a couple years ago. But they do have some licensed Penn Mickey shirts, T-shirts, one hoodie. I have some T-shirts that are also Penn and Mickey. This year, they didn't have any. I got the new Wharton hoodie that you can see in some of the pictures this year. They did not have anything in the bookstore with Mickey and Penn this year. So no new Mickey ones. I did get the new Wharton one, though. Dixon said boards, and that means wooden dummies don't hit back. Exactly, and that's sort of, Matt Thornton's, thing about having to go with live people and really test yourself. And that will help you in real self-defense. And Dixon also said, also known as Day of the Dead for the Souls Day. Yep. And they're having some Day of the Dead thing downtown in Missoula today, because I know Brian was talking about maybe going down to that. My wife and I we'll be going up the mountain with Rocky. Plus, we got to go do some shopping and get gas and some of those fun things. We're going to go out to eat too. So we're going to have a fun little Saturday. I got a few things to get done as well, as everybody else does. So I'm going to jump off here, let you guys get to your Saturday. But remember, nobody's coming to save you. Good book. And then, some interesting insights into violence with The Gift of Violence for self-defense practitioners. You want to know a little bit more about self-defense. So I liked both of those. You can check those out. If you don't check those out, check something else. Read for entertainment, read for enjoyment, just read. Make it a spectacular Saturday. We'll be back tomorrow to talk a little bit about the new Bruce Springsteen movie, which I went and saw late last night, and I enjoyed it. We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow.